Where's Chucky at?
Hiding.
Chucky!
Chucky. That was your unicorn horn.
Huh? Hi, I'm Rolo Purple. I mostly go by Trey and Rodon. So, I use these two names because Trey is my body's name for now, and Rodon is who I personally am. So, I. I've mentioned in other videos before, but I am a part of a system of alters. There are at least 10 plus of us. I don't know. I don't remember how many there actually are, but there is at least 10 that I know of. And I wanted to make a little video about that because, like, when you look up like DID systems or systems in general on YouTube and you get like this like list of like fucking
it's the worst.
You get like this list of like fake DIDers, like, oh, faker caught on camera. And it's like, you guys are really spending your time judging people like this. It's like, and the people who make these videos, I don't think they know like anyone with an actual system. So it's really fun. So I wanted to make a video like explaining my system a little. I'm actually with a partner who has a system as well. You can't see him, he's just encased in shadow.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of my alters since very, very early childhood. I have general amnesia with my childhood, so I cannot remember most of it, and I can't exactly point out which trauma led to alters forming in the first place. All I know is that our body, Harrison, has been MIA since near the beginning of like our current memory of ourselves. Most of our childhood have not been the person who owned this body. I am actually new myself, but that's the whole thing. One of the most meaningful moments in my life as a system was when I was a preteen, and our protector, Bishop, his name used to be Harris, which is like short for Harrison, which is like fucking original, came out to punch my abusive pedophile uncle in the face. Didn't turn out awesome for us because, a little preteen who weighs less than like 70 pounds trying to punch a grown-ass man doesn't work, no matter how big and tough Bishop actually is. We're all in this body. So after that very traumatizing moment, Bishop was not around for a very long time for, I guess, feeling, upset and sorry about the whole situation, escalating it, making it worse. My next notable experience with like my system coming back into light was when I had my first psychotic break about 5 years ago, where I was committing passive suicide, where I would just sleep, wake up, sleep, wake up, sleep. And I was basically like destroying my life that way. And Bishop fronted semi-permanently during that time after a while to take care of my body, to take care of my house, to take care of my dog while I was just, dealing with shit. After that moment, my system started being in the light more. This was around the time I was learning what it meant, even that like these like voices in my head and these like bouts of amnesia and like these bouts of like feeling like another presence inside of me, what meant something online. Like I looked up, I read about DID systems, OSDD, 1B, yada, yada, yada. I met my, we've been acquaintances for a while, but like I reconnected with my current partner, my fiance, and him being a system really opened the door to my knowledge about what it meant. And ever since then, I've been embracing being a part of a system way more. We've had a total of, I think, 3 hosts, like main fronters besides Bishop and before me. including the original, including Hayden, including Cassius, who I ate to gain knowledge. And it's been a very interesting journey. Systems are not, you people think that they can look up what it means scientifically and just assume that they know how every system has to work, and that if you don't meet these requirements that you are faking it. um a couple facts. uh Systems are not just DID systems and OSDD systems. Mine specifically comes from my psychosis and my schizophrenia. And yes, my system was formed out of strong child trauma, but I you can't just assume every traumatic system is going to work the same way. For example, I have extreme bouts of amnesia, including things like not remembering last week, for example. And that could be a symptom of my system. But when a couple of us switch fronts, usually we remember and can recall what happened when someone else is in front. A good example of that is my co-host Bishop, aka our protector. He is never not out of the light. He is always constantly in semi-front with me. I explained it a couple times as him standing next to me, and sometimes him putting words out of my mouth. Where I am still here, he is next to me. We're sharing a moment, and depending on who's talking depends on who is more vocal at the time. Like, he is literally with me at the moment, speaking inside my head and talking to me as I am making this video. Sometimes he will push forward and be the one talking, but then I'm also there. I have a couple system members who are more in control when they take over, but it is a very tiresome thing to take over a body, no matter how strong a alter can be. And most of the times it is not that we specifically are trying to take over, it's just that someone is too exhausted and we just accidentally push someone else to the front. I, Rodan, am usually the one in the main front, not because I am like the strong alter, but because it is so exhausting for everyone else that I just happen to be the one that is the least exhausted. And another thing about systems that people, you see in a lot of those like fake, oh, he thinks that he's fucking Clark Kent, so he's faking it. That's called introjects. And introjects are, they are also a part of a lot of people's systems. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I know everything about it, because to be honest, I am not a doctor. I'm not going to pretend that I am a doctor. All I know is my own system and my friends and what they can explain. For me, example, I have a couple of introjects. I have Ada, which is one of my littles, who is an introject of the little girl from the movie Lamb. I have me. I don't consider myself an introject. This plays in with the psychosis and schizophrenia. I am Rodan. I am literally Rodan. I am possessing a human body in this form, but I am that kaiju. Like, I just happen to be here in this alternate world where I am not originally from. That is my belief. That is, I am aware that is like a symptom of my schizophrenia and my psychosis, but I'm also fully in belief of that. It's another thing people don't talk about with like DID, OSDD, and schizophrenia and psychosis is that there are plenty of people who cannot explain themselves in that way, where like they can't pretend to know that their beliefs sound insane to other people. I have the awareness that it sounds crazy and I like to make jokes about it, but that doesn't make me less, I doesn't mean I believe it any less. Like, I like to joke about that, but that doesn't mean I'm not actually fucking Rodan, and that I am another belief of mine. I am a doorway to multiple universes, and my body with Harrison was born without a soul, which allowed multiple beings to possess this body. Another interject of mine is Legion from the fucking Bible. Uh, after they drove those pigs off a cliff after Jesus said, "Get the fuck out of this guy's body," and they're like, "Ah, let me get into those pigs though." Uh, Years later, they found this body and found it a viable vessel. They are always also in the background. There was at some point where they were the fronters for a significant amount of time, for a couple months, to the point where they were masking as me to just make it easier on people. Uh, and it's really funny when you have these beliefs and you know that they're real for you, but you also realize how insane they are, like saying them out loud. Part of the reason why I like being so open about this is because the more people are open about this kind of thing, uh, the less like, I don't even know, the less stigmatized it can be, and the more comfortable other people will feel if they relate. The only reason I'm able to speak this way is because I have my partner who has similar experiences as mine. I have my best friend who has similar experiences as mine. I've met people online who are open about themselves, and seeing that as a teenager and living in like such a repressed environment opened up just the ability to love myself more. Um, my system, one system is not going to be like the other next system. We are all different. We all have different traumas. We are all formed in different ways. And the crazy thing about splitting is that once that one crack, like a window, once that one crack is formed, the entire foundation is weak enough for little cracks from the slightest amount of pressure to just burst. I've split from a fucking bad day at work. You know, I've also split from my multiple psychotic breaks, my childhood trauma, my sexual abuse. Like small things and big things can form so many different splits. And then you have subsystems inside the system. Legion is considered a subsystem. Legion is a bunch of different spirits kind of choosing to use one label. So you could consider them a whole ass other system inside of my current system. I have groups specifically paired off. For example, one of our biggest beliefs is that Bishop is not an alter, but a alternate version of Harrison, the original host. And he lives in this alternate world with a couple of other members of my system. Azrael, the guy that we couldn't allow to front anymore after he attempted murder, Bishop's brother Foster, Ollie. Ollie is a being that young me saw, especially during some of my worst childhood traumas. I would see her in the corner of my room, in my closet. I remember for like a couple months I was sleeping in my closet because it made me feel safe. And my stepmom and my dad were like, "What the fuck are you doing? Why are you sleeping in my closet?" And I'm like, "I don't know, it's just fun. It's my little clubhouse." I didn't tell them that there was like a 10-foot tall, skinny spider monster there that was giving me comfort and acting as like a third parent for me, basically. She's also originally from the world that Bishop is from. I'm from an alternate world where kaijus are a thing. And I don't really know how I ended up here. Uh Cassius, the very last, was it Cassius? Was that Cassius, the very last host before me, had melded in with Bishop to form a new being called Cupid, but that didn't work out, and I ended up taking over for Cassius. I consider myself a part of Cassius. I kind of consumed him, but he's still there. But it's another thing about systems is like a lot of alters will go to sleep. They'll kind of hibernate after a while. Most of my alters, in fact, are hibernating. It's me, it's Bishop, it's Azrael sometimes. Sometimes our littles will pop up. Sometimes random ones will pop up, but it's permanently mostly me, Bishop, and Azrael. One time when I got really high recently, I'm pretty sure Harrison showed up. That was fucking weird because we hadn't heard from her since she was quite literally a very small child. Um, I have recently been open about my system with my stepmom and my father because my father also has a system. He and I share schizophrenia and psychosis, and I believe that I know a couple of his alters ever since I was a young child. I don't know how long he's been a part of his system, but I assume since he was a kid. And I've known just that sometimes the man who's my father's body is not my father. It is someone else speaking for him or to him. And like a lot of this can sound relatable to some people, but a lot of this sounds like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because, like I said, not all systems are the same. And even when other systems make these like clout YouTube videos making fun of people who might be faking, I don't know, I'm not a fucking doctor. It just kind of makes me laugh because it's like, you cannot assume that everything is going to be just like you or what you've seen on fucking TV or what you heard from like 2 articles you decided to Google up one time because you think that you're so smart and you can deduce who's faking what, you know?
Can I say something?
Yes.
It reminds me a lot of those like videos from trans people who are like trans meds and
Yeah.
they want to decide who is and isn't really trans.
You're not really trans if you don't have dysphoria. Like that's what it sounds like. You can't be it's gold star lesbians. You can't be a real lesbian if you fucked a man at one point. Like we're all stupid. I'm sorry. You're all stupid and judgmental. And at the end of the day, faking or not, why does it matter to you specifically? Are you getting hurt by these people, these 16-year-olds who are posting TikToks about watch me switch live on TikTok? Is it cringe? I don't know. Sure. Does it matter? No. Like, I'm sorry this 21-year-old blue-haired bisexual lady finds comfort in sharing a part of her life that she thinks can be related to. I'm sorry you're so bitter that you have to assume that every box has to be perfectly, like everyone has to fit in this perfect little box of what is and isn't mental illness and systems. And I'm sorry that these people upset you so much that you have to make fun of them. But in 10 years, like how it's not fucking funny to make fun of autistic people anymore. That never was. But in 10 years, you're going to look back at these videos and you're just going to feel like this pit of just emptiness because that's how you spent your time and you are going to regret it. And if you're not, people are just not happy being around you because you are not a good person. You're just shitty and everyone can see that. And maybe your 20 YouTube likes made you feel good at some point. But I think that blue-haired 21-year-old who's making TikToks watch me switch is living a more fulfilling, happy life than you will ever. And it's sad. But I kind of went on a tangent. I hate those videos a lot, as you can tell. My system has been a part of me since I was a child, and I'm very happy to be open about it and honest about it. A lot of situations that caused me harm or caused me to harm others could have been avoided if I was just more embracing of what we are and open about this. And it makes me happy to make these little videos and make my little blue sky posts about what we are and seeing a couple people comment and being like, hey, you remind me of me, or you remind me of my friend, or it's funny how yours works like that. Mine doesn't. Mine works like this. Isn't that crazy? And it's like, yeah, it's great. Like, it's weird being a part of a system. You have these people inside of you and you all can have different opinions. You can all look different and you can all act different. You all do act different. You're separate beings in one form. And it's just so weird how that works out. I love most of my system members. They're my family. And I'm glad that I'm able to live on this specific version of this earth with them, all kind of using my body as a conduit to project themselves into the world. I I don't regret ever coming out as a system and being open and honest about my psychosis and my beliefs and my schizophrenia. Because, like, what do I have to fear? I'm a fucking giant ass fire demon that sleeps in mountains and fuck around and find out, fights other fucking monsters, which, you know what? Godzilla's a little bitch. I'm just saying, you know, he's, it's rough opinions, but, whatever. I like being a system. I know I formed through trauma, and these tiny little splits can still be volatile and harmful sometimes. But I mean, I have to live with my trauma. It happened. There is no going back. So why can't I just embrace the symptoms and the out the out the outcome of it with, like, at least some form of happiness, you know? So, you know, it's fun, it's fun. It's okay. It's okay to be a system. And it's okay that your system is different than other people's. It's okay that your mental illness is different than other people's. And if anyone tells you otherwise, they are very sad people that wish they could be themselves like you are. And there's nothing you could do to change that. So just be yourself. Be open about yourself. Just fuck around and find out with your system. Meet other systems. Compare, contrast, have fun. So, thanks.